got one that can see.
Logic before authority. The following clip is from a video game produced in cooperation with Microsoft, aka Will.i.am Gates. It was released in 2008 on the Windows platform. It depicts a plot planned by a secret, powerful cult to blow up La Palma Island, causing an Atlantic-wide tsunami that takes out the current world power structure system, to be replaced by a group waiting in the dark to create a new golden age and a new world order.
Yesterday's newspaper. My French is a little rusty, but as far as I can tell... Oh, there's a report here about the sinking of the Calypso, the ship I was almost drowned on. Apparently they were able to rescue nearly all the passengers. Underneath is a huge advertisement by that televangelist Pat Shelton and his Puritas Cordis sect. The hasty gathering of worldly leaders in New York proves only one thing, that neither the self-proclaimed heads of state nor the so-called scientists can offer any explanation for the greatest of all disasters which is now almost upon us. And how could they? For only a steadfast belief in the might of the Lord can guide us now. He alone can be the beacon to lead us forth from the valley of the shadow of death.
America and our friends and allies join with all those who want peace and security in the world, and we stand together to win the war against terrorism. Tonight I ask for your prayers for all those who grieve, for the children whose worlds have been shattered, for all whose sense of safety and security has been threatened. And I pray they will be comforted by a power greater than any of us, spoken through the ages in Psalm 23. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for you are with me.
After the Declaration of Independence was signed, Virginia statesman John Page wrote to Thomas Jefferson, "We know the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong. Do you not think an angel rides in the whirlwind and directs this storm?" Much time has passed since Jefferson arrived for his inauguration. The years and changes accumulate. But the themes of this day, he would know. Our nation's grand story of courage and its simple dream of dignity. We are not this story's author, who fills time and eternity with his purpose. Yet his purpose is achieved in our duty, and our duty is fulfilled in service to one another. Never tiring, never yielding, never finishing, we renew that purpose today to make our country more just and generous, to affirm the dignity of our lives and every life. This work continues, the story goes on, and an angel still rides in the whirlwind and directs this storm.
God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear. Even though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea, though its waters roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake with its swelling, there is a river whose stream shall make glad the city of God, the holy place of the tabernacle of the Most High. God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God shall help her just at the break of dawn. The nations raged, the kingdoms were moved. He uttered his voice, the earth melted. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Come behold the works of the Lord, who has made desolations in the earth. He makes wars cease to the end of the earth. He breaks the bow and cuts the spear in two. He burns the chariot in fire. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge.
This is an historic moment. We have in this past year made great progress in ending the long era of conflict and Cold War. We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Hundreds of years ago, the prophet Zandona foresaw the cataclysm that is looming now. This is what he predicted. The old order of the world shall be shattered, all worldly possessions shall crumble, and from the ashes of our decadence shall rise the new kingdom of God, radiant and pure. And therefore my call goes out to all people to ring in their ears like one final peal of thunder and open their eyes, seek salvation in the arms of Puritas Cordis. Come now, before it is too late. I can't say I like that Pat Shelton and his Puritas Cordis crowd. In fact, I think they're a bunch of morons. The trouble is, I can't shake the feeling that there's method in their madness and that they have a definite plan. A plan to make Zandona's apocalyptic prophecies a reality. Which means they're still a bunch of morons, of course, but possibly a bunch of extremely dangerous morons. In any case, they must not be underestimated. I have no idea who this is supposed to be, and there's no plaque to give me a clue. I have no idea how I would be able to manipulate this statue in any way.
You could go to jail. And a handsome man like you, I'd hate to think what would happen.
I wouldn't go to jail. The legal owner of this plant would. Canary M. Burns. This entire plant is in his name. So when they come to put C.M. Burns in jail, it's the canary that does the time.
Sir, can you do that?
Oh, yes.
So let us make a deal. I will now show you what you want to know. You see, truth is like an eternal flame. You can try to conceal it, try to shade it, but it cannot be extinguished. And the truth has long stopped hiding its ugly face behind the veil of technology and progress. It shows its terrible grimace day by day. 660 children starve to death every hour. Millions of people slave away in horrible, degrading circumstances, while their bosses become richer and fatter all the time. The deserts are expanding, the polar caps are melting, the ozone hole is growing. The climactic catastrophe is at hand! every day, we do our best to destroy our planet with all the powers at our command. Today alone, another 140 or so animal and plant species have become extinct.
I know, it's terrible. So, can you make this world a better place?
Yes, I can. Zandona was a great prophet. Too great for his time. His vision could not be brought to life in the 17th century. Today, things are different.
Vision? Zandona never had any visions. He was just a very sick man who wanted to destroy the world.
Destroy? How blind you are! He never wanted to destroy the world. He only wished to root out the evil that is responsible for all the destruction in our world. I will show you. This is La Palma, one of the Canary Islands, a paradise for sun-loving tourists. For us, the island holds quite another fascination, the Cumbre Vieja volcano. The brittle western slope of the volcano is covered in clefts and fissures where water has collected. And now for the interesting part. By placing several bombs in carefully calculated spots, we can use thermonuclear explosions to heat that water so that it will evaporate instantaneously. If you had paid attention in your physics classes, you would know that such a sudden evaporation of water would create sufficient pressure to shatter the volcano's brittle slope and send it crashing into the sea. Can you guess what comes next? That's right, a tsunami. Waves 200 meters high will charge across the Atlantic with the speed of an airplane. The tsunami will sweep across the east coast of the United States. New York will disappear in an apocalyptic flood, taking with it the self-proclaimed rulers of the world who are currently squabbling in blind incompetence at the UN headquarters. The resulting vacuum of power will be filled by our followers, some of whom have been biding their time in key positions for decades. They will take control and lead humankind to a new golden age.
Except for the people on the East Coast. I guess you won't be leading them anywhere.
Haven't you been listening to me? I told you this is about saving the world.
By leaving millions of people to drown? How is that saving them?
I am saving them from their own destructiveness. They would kill each other anyway, sooner or later. But in that case, not just a couple of million people would die, but the basis for our existence on this planet would be permanently destroyed. Don't you see? Those who hold the power in this world are leading us to our doom, day by day. But now, we have a chance of seizing this evil by the root and wiping it out, once and for all. Without its rulers, humankind will be as helpless as a flock of sheep without a shepherd. They will turn to God and to Puritas Cordis, for we are the ones who saw the catastrophe coming and who know how to avert any further disasters.
And nobody suspects that Puritas Cordis caused those disasters in the first place.
It does not befit the sheep to question the will of the shepherd. We will teach people to live devoutly. We will teach them the ways of Zandona, and we will welcome them to the new state of God. They will be led by our supporters, chosen from among the wisest of the wise and the most pious of the devout.
And what will your role be in that state?
Mine will be the voice that proclaims the will of God.
In other words, you will rule over all the rest. So this is really about power, as always.
Certainly, the power of the Lord.
I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul, and he leadeth me into the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley in the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest the table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever and ever. Forever and ever in the house of my Lord, my King, my Master. I will dwell
I've got one that can see.
Logic Before Authority.